All right, so I guess it's just starting off a little backstory, like how did you end up here?
Oh man, yeah, that's there's a lot of backstory to that one. Basically, had a few interactions with Alex. I've run a consumer protection site in the internet marketing space for a really long time, and one day Alex reaches out to me. I've got some reviews that my writers had written, and Alex reaches out to me and says, "Hey, we got these reviews on my website, or your website. And, they're not really accurate. That you kind of miscalled it." And asked me to kind of revisit and take down the reviews. And so I thought, well, I deal with that fairly regularly, and I'm open to the fact that, sometimes we call it wrong, right? Sometimes my writers don't get it right. So I took the weekend to think about it, and ultimately I was like, you're right, I'll take these down. And he was so grateful and so appreciative, gave me a cell phone number, and just said, if you ever need anything, let me know. And so at that time I was dealing a lot with depression, and it was just strange, kind of serendipitous timing. And I reached out to Alex and told him, hey, I'm dealing with this depression, and this is what I'm going through. And he said, hey, brother, I'm super busy right now, but I'm going to get back to you on that because that's something I've gone through and I can help you with that. And a few days later he followed up, and ever since then I got really tuned into Alex. And I guess maybe it's because I felt it was such a strange disparity from where we started to where I was then, and I was interacting with this guy who very clearly cared and was so genuine, so sincere. And here I was just a few weeks before I'd had these my website ranked for his name like 4 times on the first page, right? And all of it was negative stuff. And so it was night and day, and it was just kind of like, man, this is a really good dude. And I'd look on Facebook and I'd see, he'd get 30, 50, 70, 100 comments on something. He'd go through and he would reply to every single one of them personally. And I was blown away by that. And I was like, this is one of the most legitimate people I've ever seen in this space. So, to work with someone that is constantly leveling up their team, constantly stepping up their own game, constantly, even after they've taken your money, continuing to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade and provide more value, that's what I do for my people, right? And to see someone at this level doing that with their team members, and their team members constantly improving and self-developing and paying, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to upgrade their knowledge, and then trickling that down to us, come on, talk about value. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. The team's been incredible. I mean, the team in CIA have been phenomenal. And, there are team members that I haven't even worked with. Like, I haven't even gotten to the point with Facebook ads yet, which I'm really pumped about, because that's where the leverage really kicks in. I've been in internet marketing long enough to know, like, hey, that's the point I really want to get to. But of course I have to, walk before I run. Okay, so one of the things I always look for in products that I review positively are products that I enjoy personally, because especially after being in internet marketing for 13 years, it's rare you get into a product where you almost get overhauled, right? I'm always open to learning new things. I'm always open to the idea that I don't get it. I don't know everything I can. And so I always go in with an open mind. But one of the things that I look for is the head honcho, right? The guy at the very top. He needs to have clearly been in the trenches. And after so many years doing this, I can tell who's been in the trenches. When I first saw Alex Jeffries, I thought, this is a guy that makes his living just teaching people basically he's just, he's making money by making money courses, make money online courses. And when I got into CIA, that was so clearly not the case. It was clear that this guy had gone through it over and over and over and over and over. And the iterations of his business were just phenomenal. I mean, from the first time I stepped in there, doing the first couple sections of coursework, and having done a lot of marketing and advertising and business and entrepreneurial ventures in the past myself, I thought, like, it was so clear to me, this guy's done it, and this guy has fleshed it out so well. And just, I had just paid to be in the course, and I knew already that what lay ahead, and like how well thought out everything was, how well fleshed out it was, that it was going to be so worth it so quickly. And it was just a complete system on a platter right there from the very start, complete with email sequences, complete with so many team members that were experts in their field. And even though there was a lot of work for me to do, of course, there are the exercises, and they're laborious, and they're difficult, they're challenging, but even with that, it was so efficient. You're talking about a course where you get in and you're given the tools and the systems, and you're put through exercises that literally cut years out of your growth curve. And that was so different than anything else I'd seen. And then on top of that, you get, one-on-one help with a guy, that was multi-millionaire. You got like coaching calls, you can ask Alex questions. It was just phenomenal for me. And once I had researched him so much and seen firsthand how legitimate he was, how much time he had clearly spent in the trenches to get to where he was, I was just like, yeah, sign me up. Like, this is, I'll do everything this guy tells me to do. And it was just such a complete program. It's so well thought out, so much great access to so many brilliant and wealthy minds, people that have really time tested and made a lot of money. Just overall, if I had to sum it up, I would say by far the most genuine and authentic and most complete course I'd ever signed up for. One of the things it allowed for me was to charge what I'm worth, hands down, and that has been awesome. The other thing it has allowed for me is to get that really deep level where I can have, with qualified people that I vet, that I talk to, I decide who gets in and who stays out. And I'm very particular about who I work with. And Clients in Abundance allows me that privilege, right? With the system, I've got enough leads coming in, I've got enough things going on that I don't need to accept everyone. I only accept the people that I really want to work with. And I can get in at that deep level and work on their businesses really hands-on and make a tremendous impact in their lives, their businesses, and their families' lives. I mean, literally, putting more food on the table, providing for their children, and then of course, finally, and I think appropriately at the bottom of the list for me, is just monetarily. Even before finishing the program, I know they're exceptional results because I have a following, I have an existing community, but plugging all of that into my existing community, everything that CIA gave me, to have within 2.5 weeks of going through Section 4, Area 4, make $31,000 in sales, working with 6 people that are a joy to work with, that I know I can impact their lives and really help change and reshape their futures. That's been awesome too. So, I started, CIA 2 months and a week ago, but at the same time, that doesn't tell the whole story because really that money came, there was a lot of pre-work, but that money came within like 2.5 weeks to make $30,000 within 2.5 weeks. I've made some really good money before, but the combination of the money plus the satisfaction of working with people I'm really loving working with, working at a really deep level, all of these things have been total breakthroughs for me and really transformed the way I approach business, and also just made my life more fulfilling to be able to work with these people on this deeper level. It has become so clear to me that Alex is such a genuine and caring person. He cares about his people. He cares about the testimonials. He cares about actually delivering, and protecting his reputation. He's even talked about here, in the past he's had opportunities that he passed on because he knew that was now money, but it was going to, burn his reputation in the long run. And for me, everything I've experienced with Alex now, and going back to the way we got in touch, and I'm grateful for the way we got in touch, but for the way things went down, and to know for years there were these posts on my website that actually damaged such a good person's business. Not only damaged such a good person's business, but now that I've worked with him, knowing how much he can help change someone's life, to look back on that, there's regret. and I even told Alex while I was here, the best I can do now is walked up to Alex and said, if there's ever anything I can do for you, let me know. Just say the words, I will do whatever I can to help. And I guess for me, that's an offer to catch up because, this guy has absolutely changed my life. He's a mentor of mine now. He will continue to be a mentor of mine for the foreseeable future. And, he's already had a massive impact on my life, taught me some incredible skills. And we're just getting warmed up together. It's just been a couple months since I've really been working with him fairly hands-on. So that's the only other thing that I can think to add is, in a really strange way, just expressing my gratitude by expressing my regret and voicing it. Not only for Alex, but for the people he could have changed and the futures that he could have changed, just like he's changed mine. For anyone that was second guessing Alex and the program at this stage, it's funny because my feelings are so strong that I want to cuss in my response when I want to really just be like, what is wrong with you? Because I've experienced it firsthand. So I'll tone it down a little, which is against my nature, but just so nobody gets scared off, and say, if you put in the work, if you do what they say, and you just keep trying, it's going to be challenging, it's going to be difficult, there are going to be times that you want to give up. But if you work the system and you show up, this will absolutely change your life. So if you fail in this program, it's only because you give up. So if you're looking at it on the front end and you're going, should I do this or should I not do this? The answer is, if you're willing to follow instructions and work your ass off, you should absolutely do it because it's going to change your life, just like it's changed mine. How's that, boys?
You said this shit all